RMAN is your heavy machinery for real disasters. But most data loss isn't a disaster, it's a person making a mistake. And for that, Oracle gives you something much lighter and faster. Flashback, the undo button for human error. This chapter impresses interviewers for a specific reason. It shows you know there are fast alternatives to a full restore. Anyone can say, restore from backup. The candidate who says, well, if it's just a drop table, I'd flashback it in seconds instead, sounds far more capable. So we'll meet the flashback family one by one, and then I'll give you the single best way to talk about them, as a ladder from light to heavy. Start with the big idea, because it reframes how you think about data loss. Most data loss is not a disk failing, it's a person making a mistake. Someone deletes the wrong rows, drops the wrong table, runs an update without a where clause. Now, full RMAN recovery can absolutely fix these, but it's heavy. You're restoring files and rolling forward, which takes time and often downtime. Flashback is a family of features designed to reverse exactly these human errors quickly, often in seconds, without restoring any files at all. And here's the beautiful connection. Most flashback features are powered by the undo data from Chapter 9. That's the real reason undo retention matters so much. The longer you keep undo, the further back flashback can reach. It all ties together. First and lightest, Flashback Query. It lets you run a select with an as-of clause to see what a table looked like at an earlier time, or at an earlier system change number. The crucial thing is that nothing has changed, you're purely viewing history. Look at the query. Select star from employees as of timestamp 1 hour ago. That returns the rows exactly as they were 60 minutes back. This is perfect for answering, what did this row contain an hour ago? Or for reading the old values so you can copy them back yourself manually. It's completely non-destructive and instant. So when the problem is, I just need to see or grab the old data. Flashback Query is your featherweight tool, no changes, no downtime, just a window into the past. It's the bottom rung of the ladder. Next rung up, Flashback Table. This one actually rewinds an entire table to an earlier point in time, undoing the changes that happened since. The command is Flashback Table, table name, to timestamp. There's one requirement to remember. The table must have row movement enabled, which is why you see that alter table enable row movement first. This is the fast fix for the classic scenario. Someone ran a bad update or a bad delete on this table 10 minutes ago. Instead of restoring the whole database from backup, which would be absurd overkill for one table, you just flashback that table to before the mistake, and you're done in seconds. So when the damage is contained to one table and it's recent, Flashback Table is your tool. It's a step heavier than Flashback Query because it changes data, but it's still lightning fast. Third rung, Flashback Drop for the sinking feeling of, I dropped the wrong table. Here's the reassuring reality. When you drop a table, Oracle doesn't immediately destroy it. It moves it to the recycle bin, a per-user holding area. So you recover it with Flashback Table, table name, to before drop, and it comes right back. But there's a critical caveat, and it's a favorite interview trap. If someone ran drop table with the purge option, that skips the recycle bin entirely and is unrecoverable this way. The recycle bin only saves you if you did not purge. So the lesson is twofold. A normal drop is recoverable from the recycle bin, but purge is permanent. Knowing both halves, that drops are usually reversible, but purge isn't, is exactly the nuance that shows you really understand the feature. The heaviest flashback tool, Flashback Database. This rewinds the entire database to an earlier point in time, and it's for a large logical disaster, say, a failed batch job that corrupted dozens of tables, where fixing them one by one isn't practical. It relies on special flashback logs stored in the fast recovery area, which means two things. It has to be enabled in advance. You can't decide you want it after the disaster, and it consumes space continuously. The trade-off to mention is the sharp one. Flashback Database is far faster than restoring the whole database from backup and rolling forward, but you pay an ongoing cost generating those flashback logs. And because it rewinds everything, you only use it for genuinely database-wide problems, never for a single table. For that, you'd use the lighter tools. It's powerful, but it's the big lever. Here's the single best way to talk about all of this in an interview, as a ladder, from light to heavy. For a single bad value, use Flashback Query to just read the old data. For a bad change to one table, use Flashback Table to rewind it. For a drop table, use Flashback Drop from the recycle bin. For a widespread logical disaster, use Flashback Database. And only when Flashback genuinely can't help, a true media failure, or the needed undo or flashback logs are already gone, do you fall back to a full RMAN restore and recover. That's the top of the ladder. Presenting it this way, use the lightest tool that solves the problem, is what shows mature judgment. It tells the interviewer you won't reach for a sledgehammer when a screwdriver will do, which is exactly the instinct they want in a DBA. Let's be clear about Flashback's limits, because knowing when a tool doesn't apply is as important as knowing when it does. Flashback works by reversing logical changes using undo and flashback logs, so it can't help you in two situations. First, a true media failure. A disk physically dies. That's not a logical error. There's nothing for Flashback to reverse, because the files themselves are gone. Second, if the undo or flashback logs you'd need have already been overwritten or aged out, then the past is simply unreachable. Flashback has no history to work from. In both of those cases, you fall back to full RMAN restore and recover from Chapter 14. So the complete mental model is Flashback for human error while the history still exists, RMAN for hardware failure or when the history's gone. Two tools, clear division of labor. Let's inspect Flashback live. Two quick checks. First, is Flashback Database actually enabled? Query the flashback on column in $database. Here it says yes, so we could rewind the whole database if we had to. Remember, this has to be turned on in advance, so this query answers, do I even have that option right now? Second, what's sitting in the recycle bin waiting to be undropped? Show recycle bin lists them with the original name, the odd-looking recycle bin name, and the drop time. If someone says, I dropped the customer's table, you run show recycle bin, confirm it's there, and flashback drop it. And if it's not there, well, someone probably purged. So flashback on for the database level option, show recycle bin for drop tables. Both are in Chapter 17, which, fittingly, is next. Let's lock it in. Flashback is the fast undo button for human error, and it's mostly powered by undo. The family. Flashback Query reads the past without changing anything. Flashback Table rewinds a single table. Flashback Drop undrops a table from the recycle bin. And Flashback Database rewinds everything, but must be enabled in advance with flashback logs. The judgment that impresses, choose the lightest tool that solves the problem and fall back to RMAN only when Flashback genuinely can't help. And the trap, Drop Table Purge skips the recycle bin and is unrecoverable this way. That closes out Phase 4, protection. Phase 5 is about making the database fast and doing it with evidence, not guesses. Next up, performance monitoring and tuning. That's Chapter 16.